15 days for this. That's insane. Like, I can't even imagine like coordinating all those white suits for one of those scenes in 15 days. Like, that is just an insane amount of moving parts to deal with.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. That was probably the most challenging scene. That
When I saw
whole
that, I was like, this is really involved for an indie movie. Like, that is a lot of people, a lot of like costume to get together. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watcher Pass. Today I'm talking to Tom DeNucci, the director of The Collective, which is coming to theaters, digital, and on demand on August 4th, 2023. I'm going to talk to him right now. While you're watching, if you can like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. I'll spend a lot. Thank you. Hey, Tom.
Hey David, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm terrific.
Awesome. Are you ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right. So thanks so much for joining me. Today I've got Tom DeNucci, the director of The Collective, which is coming to theaters, digital, and on demand on August 4th, 2023. It is an action-packed indie film that has a great cast and some twists along the way. I'm excited to hear about this, especially how he got like a serious Tyrese. I thought that was interesting and a little different for him. So I'm excited to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, thanks for having me today, David. I'm excited to talk about this movie. It's exciting. August 4th. It's almost here.
There we go. I know it's coming up. It's already August. How is that possible? This year is just flying by.
It really has. It really has, especially, preparing this movie to come out. It's made the weeks really just fly by even faster.
Well, it feels like you're going back to back, right? Because Johnny and Clyde just came out like a few months ago, right? And then now The Collective, it seems like you were just all in on movies this year.
Johnny and Clyde came out in May, and here we are with The Collective in August. So I'm excited because, this is different. This movie's, Johnny and Clyde had a little bit of a supernatural element. It probably leaned a little bit more towards the horror genre. The Collective is a good old-fashioned action movie, and actually my very first action movie that I've ever directed.
Oh, wow.
So I was really excited to kind of jump into that genre with both feet on The Collective.
There we go. Awesome. So we're both fists, right? Just get right in there. And
Fists, elbows, feet,
knives,
everything.
guns, everything. So yeah, I guess let's talk about this. How did this come across your desk? Sounds like you probably wanted to get into action and this just kind of came across. How did you find this film and what excited you about this movie?
I got a call from Richard Switzer, who's a really great friend of mine, great producer. I've been working with him for many years. And he said, "Hey, Tom, I want you to take a look at this script. It's an action movie, but I think you're going to like it because it's got some of the horror elements that you like. It's got some of the crime drama elements that you like from some of your other movies, but it's an action movie." So I took a look at the script and right away I got it. And I was like, oh, I like this. I've cooked with these ingredients before. I can do something with this. And the script was cool because what I liked about it was you always hear the formulaic film setup, and a lot of these action movies tend to have a very kind of paint by the numbers setup. I like this movie because it didn't really have a lot of those formulaic moments where it's like, it's always like about some guy who's got to like save his girlfriend or something like that, and by the end of the movie kills everybody and everyone's happy. This movie's cool because it takes some turns and it doesn't get bogged down with any of those kind of cumbersome extra story plots like romance or anything like that. Yeah, there's a little bit of humor, but for the most part, this movie is just action packed for almost 90 minutes, from beginning to end.
Yeah, exactly. None of those, I guess, tropes. Although it has some tropes, but none of like superhero type action movie tropes that you've come to expect in a lot of traditional action movies. That makes perfect sense. So a big part of this movie is the cast. How did you get this cast involved? Like, how did you find? Had you worked with any of them before and kind of drew them in, or was this all just brand new people that you wanted to kind of start fresh with?
Well, I was very lucky on this one. A lot of the major players were already packaged and ready to go and part
nice.
of the cast when I got involved. So right off the bat, just hearing that I was going to get a chance to work with Tyrese, work with, of course, Ruby Rose and Paul Ben Victor. Really excited about that. And Lucas Till, let's not forget about Lucas Till's the quarterback of this movie. He's got a really terrific kind of disposition just in real life. Like, I loved working with him because as much as there's a lot of intense work going on and we're talking fight scenes and a lot of grueling training that goes into it, he just kept it so light and was so kind to everybody on set. And when you're the number one on the call sheet, as they say, there's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress that comes with that. And you would have never known it because he just kept it so chill on set and was just so relaxed and easy to work with in that sense. So I loved working with Lucas. And And I think that, people are going to be really impressed with Mercedes Moné. Wrestling fans know her. She's probably the best, if not one of the top 5 female wrestlers on the planet. And she's making her feature film debut in this movie. So I was really excited to work with her. And of course, I worked with Don Johnson before on my 2019 movie Vault. So this was a nice kind of reunion with Don. I was a little nervous the first time I worked with him, but it was kind of cool to already get one out of the way. You got a movie under the belt, and we just had fun on this movie together.
Yeah, that's awesome. Don's role seems to be pretty fun, and I loved hearing about Lucas. Like, you always want to hope that like Hollywood actors are kind of down to earth people that you could hang out with. It sounds like Lucas is. It sounds like he was a kind of a net positive for this set. I know indie films are super stressful, so it's always great when you've got actors who are just chill and just kind of approachable and love the work. So that's great to hear.
Yeah, we really did have a great time together. There was even, we're all staying in the same hotel, and he's a video game guy. I'm a video game guy. So there was a time or two. It was like, hey, let's play some Call of Duty. Let's hang out. Let's relax. It's nice when you can hang out with your cast and not talk about the movie at all. It kind of builds a little bit of, again, it's just like you're going to be with these people for sometimes 14 hours a day. So it's really nice if you can just have some normal human being time with them once in a while and kind of just see how they tick.
Exactly. Although I don't know, with this movie, I don't know if Call of Duty is relaxing or if that's just like character, research, right? Like you gotta.
That's a good point. Yeah, we were just training basically.
Yeah, it's method acting. And interesting to hear about Mercedes. I don't remember her character doing a suplex in this film, but maybe that'll be for the. Well, I don't know if there will be a sequel with her, but maybe that'll be for another movie that she's in.
A lot of the fight scenes that she does are fairly athletic. A lot of the knife fighting, again, she's learning how to do knife fight choreography in a very short period of time and just really took to it so well. And that obviously comes from her ability to kind of, I would imagine, pro wrestling, not to give up the illusion, but I'm sure a lot of that is basically, one big dance, as they say.
It's all her fight experience that she has in the past, right? All the fights that she's actually fought.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And Tyrese has a more serious role was interesting. I mean, I know he's done serious roles in the past, but it was interesting to see him kind of fully get into like a grizzled old agent role. I thought that was an interesting casting for him. Was that, I guess, is that always the way his character was supposed to be, or was that how like you both interpreted his character in this film?
Yeah, I would say the character was actually probably written for a guy that's actually a little bit older than Tyrese initially. And I think that, he leaned into that by making him kind of, because Tyrese is a young man still, but, he played a little bit more of that grizzled vet, like you said, guy who's seen it all. And I think that grounded the performance a little bit, because the reality is, if you spent, I don't know, 20, 25 years killing people professionally, you probably would be a little stiff and you probably would be a little grizzled, So I think it was a really nice layer of authenticity. And I think all actors love to they know what made them kind of special. They know what kind of gets them to what their fans want to see, but at the same time, they're always trying to do something unique and different.
Yeah, for sure. And I hope neither of us will ever find out what it's like to kill someone for 20 years and see what that does to you. But
well, not professionally. At least.
Exactly. Yeah, when I was watching, I was like, is Tyrese that old now? Is he switching into those kinds of roles? But I guess it was a fun stretch for him. So yeah, like you said, it must have been fun to kind of like step out of your comfort zone and kind of show what else you can do. And I know you mentioned some of the choreography. I know indie films, you don't get a ton of like time to prepare and or stunt doubles. So did everyone kind of pitch in and do their own stunts? Did everyone kind of like do their own choreography? Because there's a lot of it in this film, like you mentioned.
Yeah, there was a lot of, this was the first movie that I had the chance to, again, we shot the whole movie in 15 days. So we had no choice but to be incredibly prepared so that when we get on set, there's no learning, there's no teaching. We already know exactly what we're doing and we're just kind of executing. So we got a chance to work with Anthony Huang, our stunt coordinator, and really just go over all these moves with our main cast, Lucas and Tyrese and Mercedes. They were all working those beats out so that when they got to set, they knew exactly what they were doing to keep it. Again, it's all about making it look really violent and nasty on camera, but know that when cut is called, no one's going to have a broken nose. No one's going to accidentally lose a tooth. So, keeping it dangerous looking, but very safe is the key. And that was, we were lucky that we had the time to do that in prep. That was kind of one of the main focuses that I had. I was like, I really want to make sure that these stunts look the way they're supposed to look, and that takes time. And fortunately, my producing team, Richard Switzer, again, worked with him many times in the past. He realized the importance of that time to spend as well, and we got to spend it. But we did have some stunt performers. There was some double action going on, but for the most part, Lucas does the majority of his own work, and again, all of our stars, they got in there and mixed it up plenty.
They got their hands dirty, which is good to hear. It must be fun, but also a little stressful. But I'm glad that everything worked out. 15 days for this. That's insane. Like I can't even imagine like coordinating all those white suits for one of those scenes in 15 days. Like that is just an insane amount of moving parts to deal with.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. That was probably the most challenging scene.
When I saw that, I was like, this is really involved for an indie movie. Like that is a lot of people, a lot of like costume to get together.
Thank you. Yeah, that was our most challenging scene, and we shot that one scene over the course of 2 days.
Oh, wow.
And it was one of those things where I kind of knew that, like, I've learned through the years in these movies, like, if you're going to try to spend time to have some, pop on the screen, do it in the third act. Make sure that your finish is exciting and unique and different. So I was glad that we were able to spend some time on the end of the movie and making that scene kind of come to life.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it definitely is one of the biggest scenes. It's definitely the most involved scene. So I did like that. I like how it built to that big moment and then, concluded in a way that you'll have to watch the movie to find out.
Yes.
So I know we have limited time. I'm going to switch to, I call it the lightning round. They're just lightweight questions about the film. I want to see how your personal experiences map to things in the movie. You can feel free to skip any of them. I will not be offended, but I try to keep them very answerable. First question is, have you ever handled a grenade?
A real one, no. A fake one, yes.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. Did you ever want to be an operative?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Many times as a kid, running around the backyard with toy guns. Many times.
Like you said, you probably watched all those action movies and saw how cool it was to be just like superhero. You get the the romantic interest. You save the world, or whoever you're trying to save. It's perfect.
Absolutely.
Have you ever been on like a secret mission? It doesn't have to be like a government sanctioned mission. It could be maybe you're like secretly following someone.
I was on a secret mission one time. I have a friend who's a private investigator, and he's like, Tommy, you want to come with me one night? I'm like, yeah, sure. Pull up to some guy's house. He's like, okay, see that station wagon? Put this tracking device on the bottom of the car. We think that someone thinks their husband's cheating on them. And I was like, sick. So I just ran out of the car, popped the thing out of the thing, and took off. So it was fun. It was a secret mission.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Did you get like a cool badge or a cool outfit or anything? Or?
No, but he did say, I thought it was sketchy when he said, hey, Tommy, I'm going to pick you up. Make sure you wear all black. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Okay.
That is you're either going to like a goth rave or you're going to do something somewhat illegal. So
yeah,
I'm not sure which is the more desirable of those two, but we'll leave that to your imagination. Do you have like an interesting pin or piece of jewelry that you wear? That the collective have this like symbol that they wear to show that they're in the collective. Do you have anything similar to that or anything that like holds a special place?
It's kind of funny. This is fun. I had a ring that I loved that I used to always wear. If you look at all my behind the scenes pictures, I had this ring. It was like it was like a kind of like it was just like a really cool like face, like a profile of the face that I really liked. And I lost it on the set of the collective.
Oh no.
So, yeah, so somewhere in some hotel room or on some set, my ring was given. I gave it to the collective gods. So in a weird way, that was my pin that I lost, but that's okay.
You should have taken one of the collective pins and made a new ring for yourself. Like,
that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, how are people gonna identify you without your piece of jewelry? How are they gonna know?
The woman behind the secretary there might shoot me with that shotgun if I don't identify myself.
I know the risks of the job. Do you own a white suit?
I don't, but I damn should.
I own one just because it was on super clearance sale, and I was like, I will never actually wear this, but I want to have it, and so I have a white suit that I've worn once.
Brother, you never know. You never know.
Exactly. That maybe when I go to my next human trafficking auction, I'll be ready to go. It'll be perfect. Mm-hmm. And the last question is: have you ever bought something at auction?
Yes, many times. I'm a big collector of everything from vintage action figures to comic books to trading cards. So I'm always popping into the auctions.
Big collector of things, apparently.
I collect things. Yes.
And okay, I lied. The last question is: are you secretly a spy?
I'm not, but I'll say that I am because we'll never let the truth get in the way of telling a good story.
That's the storyteller perspective. I love it. So the film is The Collective. It's out on the theaters, digital, and on demand on August 4th, 2023. You are out promoting the film, getting the word out. I imagine you probably have other projects after this. After people see The Collective, what can they look for next from you?
I really loved working in this action movie genre. So I've got a couple of action movies that I'm currently writing, and we're hoping, fingers crossed, that as soon as our current strike situation sorts itself out, we'll be getting into the action genre yet again.
Fingers crossed. I mean, yeah, for multiple reasons, fingers crossed the strike works itself out. But that I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see where else you take us in your action world. And but before that, people can check out The Collective. It comes to theaters, digital, and on demand on August 4th, 2023. This is Tom DeNucci, the director. Thank you so much for joining me.
Appreciate that, David. Take care,
Awesome.
brother.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was Tom DeNucci, the director of The Collective, which comes to theaters, digital, and on demand on August 4th, 2023. It is an action-packed indie spy movie that has a great cast and some twists along the way. If you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.